guys, and welcome back to ZMSC Modelworks. My name is Zach, and today we're going to be looking at one of the brand new kits released in April from Alfa Model, and that is the Ferrari F8 Spider. So these, for reference, these are full resin kits with photo etch detail and whatnot, straight out of the box. There's very little that you have to kind of figure out. They're pretty simple kits, but they're very, very, very highly detailed, and this one's going to be no different. So go ahead and start opening the box here. Start laying everything out so you can have a look. As with most of the Alfa Model kits, a lot of these parts come separated into their own little baggies here. So first off, a little bit of a disappointment that the decal sheet, as large as it is, isn't separated from the loose photo etch in here. So I don't know if that was just not attached at the factory or what, but it's kind of a little bit concerning because they've got a cover sheet on it, but you know, you always want to try and avoid scratching up decals, especially with something like this. So I'll just kind of put everything off to the side and go through it one by one. So of course, first off, we've got our decal sheet here. I can already kind of see some very nice carbon fiber going on here. Nice thin decals, highly detailed, very crisp and clean. Very nice. I'm going to put that back into this bag. Yeah, it doesn't even fit the, or does it? Yeah, it doesn't really completely fit inside of the plastic, so I'll have to figure out an alternative means of stowage for this, but I'll put that off to the side for now. We've got our nice display plate here we can put on the display case once it's completed. And it has a room here to actually put in your signature, should you choose. A recent change that I've seen is they're starting to use more of the photo etch seat belts. So key to these is going to be molding, kind of shaping them to the interior first, getting them set where you want to set so they look a little bit natural, and then take them off and paint them from there, just to avoid scraping off any paint, having to redo things over and over again. We've got our mounting screws to put the steering arms and the chassis to the actual body itself, and you'll see why in a minute. Some nice separated parts here, stuff like Ferrari logos, another seatbelt detail, as well as some badging. Got some more brake and vent parts here. Very nice. Love the detail on all of the Alfa Model kits. And we've got some doormats and some more grills here, along with parts for the interior and the license plates as well. So that's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. It'd be great when you texture that up to look like carpet. We've got our clear sort of Lexan parts that they have a film on both sides, so it's well protected from itself, but I would have loved to see that stored somewhere a little bit more careful. And then we've got parts for our brakes here. I'm probably gonna mount those in a Dremel and you know, texture up the surface a bit to make it look non-uniform and to make it look like it's been actually used, because those wheels are very thin and it's going to show a lot. And then finally we have our chrome sort of metal transfers here. I don't know if you can really tell, but there's the F8 plus the small, tiny Ferrari one right above 0038 there. And that is astounding amount of detail in something so small. So, very nice. All right, go ahead and put that off to the side. And we'll start looking at some of the resin parts. So in this bag here, got some of the mirrors, got parts for the grills, we got the brake discs that the Photoetch is going to mount to. I've got some seat belts there as well, some parts for the dash, and then our steering knuckles there as well. Let's go ahead and put that back in the bag, the box, so I don't lose it all as we go. Got some, well, we've got the exhaust tips in here, but what I think these are is actually a mold for the Photoetch. So there's quite a few complex curves on the body, and it's hard to kind of manually get them to fit. But if you have a male and a female mold and you put the Photoetch part in here and kind of tamper it down, then it molds it perfectly to the shape that it needs to be. And that's extremely nice. I would have really loved that on the Carrera GT, because those engine vents are a pain to try and get right. Love that. That is going to be very, very helpful and useful when it comes time to actually build this. Okay, so moving on now. I've got parts for the interior here, the seats, which are almost like a shell, and then there's actually inserts for the seats that kind of slot in. Got some the headlights here, which have the detail molded in very, very nicely. You can see there the steering wheel detail, headrests, and then the brake rotors in there. Rear diffuser, some lovely details shown underneath. It's very, very nice. Next bag, we've got the kind of rear valance where the taillights are going to sit, and the rest of the interior pieces of the door cards. We've got the seat backing, dashboard, stuff like that, pieces for the center console, and just look at how thin that resin is and how crisp it is. There's no warpage, nothing breaking off. It is very, very, very well done. I like that. You can see here on like the center console, they've got all the things for the switches and dials in there. It's gonna be nice. All right. Last bit of resin is obviously the wheels here. So some nice big rims, very thin and petite, dainty, as you could say. And those brakes are going to have to be very well done to kind of accent it, because a lot of it's going to be showing. So we want to take special care when we're starting to do the brakes, so that we're not creating anything that draws the eye to that location to tell you that it's wrong. Very nice tires and rims. And lastly, the smaller bag is we've got some cast clear parts. We've got our taillight buckets, and we've got our headlights, their headlight lenses, and other small accessories there as well. I always found Alfa models got some very nice cast clear parts. And last but not least, we've got our body. Now we did notice with the R35 and the RX7 that despite it being double bubble wrapped, say that 10 times fast, there still tends to be some minor damage to the actual body itself. Hoping with how complex the curves are on this one that it's not the case. As we can see there, we've got our kind of three main sort of pieces. So we've got our kind of chassis plate here that kind of hides all the detail. Some very, very nice kind of gill vents there towards the front. The holes for mounting the rest of it to the body. And we've got our kind of interior tub where everything for the interior is going to mount to. Yeah, just some plain, showing where the delineation is for the doors and all that. Might need to clean up a little bit of that debris that's made its way in there just from shipping. And then of course the body. So as you can see, it'd be kind of a shame if a lot of these parts ended up getting bent or broken because these curves are so complex. So that's where you see the valence is going to go for the rear spoiler. Like even those pieces molded in is just phenomenal. Panel lines are nice and crisp, and could use a little deepening, but it's okay. We can figure that out. Yeah, we've got. Might just be excess plastic from the mold, or excess resin, sorry, from the mold here. If you can see that right near my thumb, there's a little bit of raised resin there. Better to take away than to have to try and add it. Vent details there on the front of the bumper. Same thing with the RX7. You spend a lot of time in a mold when you've got these inside sort of details that are hard to cast, and they've done a perfect job of doing that. Just going to be a pain to paint it, but I'll take the detail over a pain in the ass to paint. And everything else is looking very, very nice and fine. No other damage visibly that I can see. That's going to be fun to kind of paint in that, so we're going to have to use a slow reducer to make sure we don't get any grain, paint grain going in there and ruining that detail, because it's almost going to be impossible to try and clean it out. It would have to be a body strip and then a respray. Like that, even like, how deep is that? Let me find a toothpick, because that looks extremely deep for them to be able to get cast like that. Yeah, so that's almost like a 1.5 centimeters that goes in there, and there's no breakage, there's no like grain or anything in there. Not much. You're not going to get much paint in there, and might want to just kind of hand paint it with a brush before doing everything else with just some black. But it's nice to know that it's that exists, that's there. That's cool. And then I believe these are going to be support brackets here, so these are going to have to be cut out, and then the A-pillar and the window frame are going to have to be sanded smooth. And so the interior tub just kind of slots itself right into its spot. Very well engineered. very well thought through these, and then all the extra parts are going to sit inside of there. So excited to get build with this one after our RX-7 build. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and check out Alfa Models, link in the description, and hopefully follow along to see the rest of this build. So thank you for watching and have a good day.